Welcome back to Art of Etude. Let's jump right back into it. This Caprice is clearly intended to work double stops with a particular emphasis on thirds. And I do think that thirds are one of the best tools for developing strength and endurance in the left hand, and even just for warming up in general, especially on a cold winter night like tonight. If we recall the exercises covered in the episode about octaves, they're actually very much relevant here and form a solid backbone for the development of all kinds of double stops in general. So it would be good to watch that episode first if you haven't already. Now, when it comes to thirds specifically, I'll take the chance to demonstrate some exercises I do to keep the fingers moving and responsive. First, to focus on the lifting and dropping of the fingers and to work with uneven rhythms. To increase the sharpness of the rhythms incrementally is an efficient way to train the left hand and arm to quickly go in and out of a state of tension required for the action itself, and with an emphasis on returning to a relatively relaxed state as quickly as possible whenever given the chance. Also, try to experiment and find a hand position that accommodates the weaker fingers more, whether by raising the fingers or rotating the arm as well. Next, let's incorporate vibrato into the exercises as an extra dimension to be aware of and to capitalize on the small amount of flexibility in the wrist and hand during thirds. Try to first knock the wrist backward. So basically, immediate energy followed by immediate release, but making sure that the fingers stay where they are on the fingerboard. Then, instead of an active passive knock, as in a burst of energy and release, we can now make it harder for ourselves and actively control every instant of the vibrato motion. So it's important here to keep the speed of the vibrato consistent at all times. Now, let's incorporate shifts. The more fingers planted on the fingerboard at one time, the more taxing the shifting motion becomes. So even if we start by executing the motion at a very slow speed and feeling out every part of the motion, it's especially helpful here to focus on the previously seen idea of one subservient finger following one dominant finger. Furthermore, it's important to lighten the pressure of both fingers on the fingerboard during the shifting motion. be elaborating on the subject of shifts in the next and final episode of this marathon. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching as always, and feel free to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it useful, and to leave any questions you might have in the comments below. Cheers.